Lowell Hecht assumed the responsibilities of club manager in the fall of 1954 and carried on during the fire and rebuilding program during 1955 in an outstanding manner. He was cooperative, capable, and well-liked by the entire membership and employees alike. Mr. Alex Steve started his first season at Sylvania as the swimming pool supervisor, and it was a highly successful one. He developed a fine team with a lot of spirit and a will to win. Highlight of the meets was the defeat of the Inverness Country Club, 128 to 124. Mr. Steve came to Sylvania with an excellent background, having been assistant swim coach at Ohio University and head coach at Monroe High School. In summary, 1955 was an outstanding year for the club, with many projects successfully completed and plans made for still further achievements. 1956. Movie actress Grace Kelly and Prince Rainier of Monaco have Wedding of the Year. President Eisenhower undergoes surgery for ileitis, recovers, and is re-elected in landslide over Adlai Stevenson. New York Yankees Don Larson pitches the first no-hitter game in World Series history. Toledo's Swain Field was dismantled to make way for a shopping center. President of Sylvania Country Club is Dr. N.G. Matheson. With the approval from the membership for the $125,000 expansion program in the fall of 1955, work was begun almost immediately and progressed rapidly through the winter months. Normal club activities, dances, dinners, etc., were carried on in other clubs throughout the area on a rental basis. By May, construction was completed and an open house was held on Decoration Day. Hundreds of members inspected the new facilities and were well pleased with the new cocktail lounge, the enlarged pro shop, swimmers' locker rooms, kitchen, ladies' locker rooms, and the 19th hole. The new cocktail lounge had a glassed-in appearance. It was air-conditioned and decorated in a tropical theme. Due to the lack of funds, the only one of these areas which was completely furnished was the cocktail lounge. Furnishings for the other locations were deferred until 1957. With the air conditioning of the cocktail lounge, some members felt that the main dining room and lounge should also be air-conditioned. An attempt was made to raise $10,000 for an air conditioning on a voluntary subscription basis, but the goal was not reached and the project was dropped. An assessment to raise $50,000 to purchase air conditioning and furnishings for the new areas was also voted down by the membership. As Sylvania enlarged and improved its facilities, applications for membership flowed in, and by June of this year the membership chairman reported waiting lists for both active and social memberships. A new class of membership known as a waiting certificate was created to permit those on the waiting list to enjoy the facilities of the club until they became active members. Mr. Ed Baldoff conceived an idea for the club to show its appreciation to Lou Chiappetta for the many improvements made on the golf course during his 18 years of service as club professional and greenskeeper. In August, the Louis Chiappetta Appreciation Dinner was held at the clubhouse and was well attended by members and former members of Sylvania, as well as many sports figures from the Toledo area. Dr. Byron Schaefer presided as Toastmaster, and speakers included Harry Moffett, PGA President Marty Chrome, and Dr. John J. Welker, charter member of Sylvania Country Club. Another innovation under the sponsorship of Mr. and Mrs. Elmer Fleck and Mr. and Mrs. James O'Hara was the first annual Aquatic Awards Dinner, which was designed to honor the swimming team and outstanding young swimmers. The dinner was held on Sunday, September 9th, and was attended by 87 swimmers and 113 parents. The swimming team climaxed its second consecutive undefeated season by defeating Inverness with a score of 200 to 130. Coach Steve proved to be an inspiration to the children of Sylvania, as evidenced by the fact that the number of swimmers increased from 28 in 1955 to 87 in 1956. A water ballet under the direction of Bonnie Black also was held late in the summer and was quite successful. The club champion for 1956 was Forrest Greenlayer, runner-up Dale Bittner. Ladies Club champion Lorraine Abbott. Louis Chiappetta won the quarter-century golf tournament at Dunedin, Florida, during the 1956 winter season in competition with some of the country's leading pros who have been members of the PGA for 25 years or more. Sylvania's Dale Bittner won the Toledo Blade Trophy as the amateur golfer who accumulated the most points in golf tournaments in Toledo during the 1956 season. 1957. Russia launches the first Earth satellite, Sputnik. The Craig Memorial Bridge opened. Civil Rights Bill defeated.
That you gave to me, and it's signed with love.
President of Sylvania Country Club, Edward M. Baldo. 1957 found the country gradually slowing down from the post-war boom. Business was still generally good, but soft spots were beginning to show up here and there. Unemployment showed a slight increase, and the mergings or closings of old established companies were noticeable. Sylvania's membership was not quite full, but the resignations were not great enough to be alarming. Those who were golfing members were able to play golf in both February and March, with a beautiful 74-degree day arriving on March 13th. With $38,000 available for capital improvements, the furnishings and equipment that had been postponed from 1956 could now be installed. One of the most exciting happenings of 1957 was the inauguration of the Pot of Gold tournament. This was an 18-hole affair with two-man teams competing for a low net medal score. The teams were auctioned off, and a prize pool of approximately $4,000 was divided among the skillful and or lucky participants. It was a day, 2 days really, as the first day's play was rained out, to remember.
I've got these little things, she's got you.
Tournament results for 1957, club champion, Forrest Greenlayer. Runner-up, Dale Bittner. Ladies club champion, Mrs. Clyde Fisher. Father and son tournament, John Salfield and son Jack. Sylvania's swimming team continued to roar like the sea lions that they had been named. They finished their season undefeated and won the Northwestern Ohio Country Club Swim League meet with the following points for each club: Sylvania 418, Inverness 217, Lima Shawnee 206, and Marion 153. Interest and spirit were never higher among the swimmers themselves and the proud parents who acted as officials and attended every meet. Many swimmers carried their interest into the winter months and swam at the Two Wise and Toledo Club. President's Trophy for 1957, Dave Roadhouse. 1958. United States puts a satellite into space. 17,000 unemployed in Toledo. Alaska becomes the 49th state. Commercial jet planes cross the United States in 4.5 hours. Hula hoops. President of the club, John Robinson. It should be noted that Boyd Smith, who had been on the Board of Trustees since 1955, was responsible for the history that is presented. Great appreciation is extended to the amount of time that it took for him to assemble his information. A large part of this was provided to him by Dr. John J. Welker, who was a charter member of Sylvania Country Club. Early in the year, the club lost a trusted and loyal employee in Mrs. Julia Manton, who had served faithfully as assistant treasurer and secretary for 24 years. The year 1958 will probably be remembered largely for the business recession which gripped the nation and affected all segments of the population. Going out of business sales were commonplace. Unusually large numbers of fires caused insurance companies to grow suspicious of their origins. Millions of workers were unemployed. Auto sales dropped to their lowest point in years. The stock market slid off. Labor threatened a march on Washington to force the government to embark on a spending spree. Sylvania, of course, was in turn affected directly by these conditions. Resignations grew. Patronage of the dining room and bars dwindled. Unemployed grown men appeared as caddies. The value of membership shrank to $350, and openings in all classes and memberships were numerous. In spite of the general recession, Sylvania members enjoyed a very active year of relaxation in many ways. The golfers found the course in unusually fine condition due to plentiful rains. July's rainfall of 6.7 inches was the greatest since 1896. New traps were built around numbers 9 and number 18 greens, enhancing the beauty of the holes, but causing occasional frustration among the players. One sour note was sounded in that many beautiful trees were destroyed by Dutch elm disease which swept the city. A tree nursery was planned for 1959. The swimming enthusiasts had another enjoyable year as the team finished the season undefeated with a victory over Inverness, 287 to 187. President's Trophy winner, Mary Ann Fleck. Harvey Jones did an outstanding job as tournament chairman, and competitive play stirred a great deal of interest among the better players and dubs alike. The second annual Pot of Gold tournament was even more well received than the first, with Wayne Wickland, a repeat winner, teaming with Dr. Ralph Cole to win first place. The Toledo Open was held at Sylvania in June and was won by Len Petrus with a 36-hole score of 142. Sylvania's young golf luminary, Miss Lorraine Abbott, won the Toledo Women's District Championship at Inverness by defeating Mrs. Frank Stranahan 2-1. Club champion for 1958, Forrest Greenlear. Runner-up, Dale Bittner. Ladies Club champion, Mrs. Clyde Fisher. Father and son tournament winner, Boyd and Rick Smith.